You've just been born in 15th century China. And oh no, you're a girl. Your parents are dirt poor farmers and see you less as a daughter and more as a pretty goat they can trade when the harvest fails. And you are pretty, which turns out to be both your greatest asset and your worst curse. See, in this world, beauty isn't freedom. You'll learn that soon enough. Your first few years are a blur of cracked mud floors, stale rice, and your mother telling you to keep your face clean. Not because she cares about your hygiene, but because the cleaner you look, the more likely some wandering official will notice you. And then, one does. One spring morning when you're 14, a pale, plump court eunuch in royal attire comes sauntering down the dirt roads in boots that cost more than your father will ever make in his lifetime. He eyes you like the way a butcher eyes a pig, lifts your chin, checks your teeth, inspects your hair. Then he nods. Before you can blink, your father's already bowing so low he's practically eating dirt, and your mother's weeping into her sleeve. Half from grief, half from relief that you're someone else's problem. You're loaded into an ox cart, wrapped in a scratchy blanket. Congratulations! From mud floor to palace property in a single morning. Your parents don't wave. Wouldn't want to look too happy about the bargain. First stop at the palace? The eunuchs strip you bare in a marble bath chamber that reeks of rotting petals and incense. They dump you in a basin of flower water so pungent it burns the cuts on your ankles. Thin hands scrape the dirt from your back and scalp. Then they shave your hairline up high. The court's idea of beauty. One of them clicks his tongue and says you're too skinny for the emperor's taste. Nothing but bones to cradle in air. Cool. Guess that means they'll stuff you up with pastries, sweet rice cakes, pork broth, all the things you used to dream about while gnawing on bony chicken legs back home. You eat like you're storing up for a siege, but there's no such thing as a free meal here. You're not here to get fat and happy. You're here to be plumped up, painted, and wrapped in silk like a prize pig for the emperor. One wrong glance, one rumor, and you'll find your neck under a blade before your next meal digests. Fun, right? From dawn to dusk, you're trained like an obedient lapdog. How to speak, how to bow so low your spine aches, how to lower your gaze when someone above your station so much as breathes in your direction. You learn the 1001 rules for how to survive the court. Never turn your back to an older concubine. Never speak when the empress is present unless spoken to. Never eat more than you're served, but always look grateful. Never talk about your family, even if you could remember them clearly. Not that you would.
Nope.
They sold you for less than a bag of salt. But that's not even the worst part of court life. Your feet, crushed and bound until your bones snap and heel crooked. A brutal, calculated custom for girls like you, especially concubines. Looking delicate is everything. And good luck trying to run off. Every step feels like you're walking on knives. But you're not alone in this suffering, of course. The palace is stuffed to the rafters with other girls just like you. Some born to noble families, some snatched up like stray kittens, all clawing at the same invisible ladder. Step out of line and you don't get a second chance. One girl in your training dorm giggles when her Imperial Highness trips on the palace steps. Next day, she's gone. Rumor is she's scrubbing the latrines near the stables. The polite rumor, anyway. A few years slip by. You're 18 when they herd you into the selection hall. A line of silk-wrapped offerings with sweat sticking your sleeves to your skin. The emperor strolls past you like he's picking fruit at a market stall. Some look too eager, or not eager enough. He barely pauses at each girl. Nope, not likely. Yikes. You? You just stand there, eyes down, heart pounding like a drum. He flicks your chin up with one pale finger. This one. You keep your eyes down as they drag you off. Congrats. You're officially the emperor's property. The older concubines roll their eyes behind jeweled fans. And so begins your new career. Soft silks, low bows from the servants, jasmine-scented baths. The royal perks look good, until you remember the pressure is on. Bear a child, or else. A court physician pinches your wrists, presses a cold palm to your belly 3 times a month, and swears raw eggs and deer antler wine will make your womb cooperative. Your meals are weighed out to the last grain of rice. And the emperor? You're just a body to him, not a person. Something to be used until you're no longer useful. Some days you catch your reflection and don't even recognize the girl staring back. It's all pressure. From the emperor, from the other girls, from the walls themselves. One bad glance, one rumor in the wrong ear. That's all it takes. Some nights you think about getting out, slipping past the palace lanterns, disappearing into the dark. But with your feet, you'd never make it past the gates. They'd save you the trouble of packing by separating your pretty head from the rest of your body. Ever seen a fertile concubine retire? Exactly. If you're lucky, you might bear him a sign. If you're unlucky, you're just another name in the court registry, destined to fade. Or worse. Now you're really starting to hate it. But you also hate the thought of being invisible again, which brings you to the worst part of your time in the palace. Hope.